Matthew Stuckey here from Verity Baptist Church Philippines, just giving you a quick missionary update. And we're actually making a switch to our missionary updates. I'm going to start doing monthly updates as opposed to weekly updates. With weekly updates, there's not always a whole lot of information to update on, and sometimes it can be a bit repetitive. So I think it's better just to do a monthly one that kind of goes in line with our newsletter. So this is our update for the month of November. And the month of November was a very productive month for us. We set a new record for salvations in a month. We had 1,042. So that's our first month where we actually crossed 1,000 salvations between our ministries. And so there's several reasons for this. We had a big holiday the very first day of the month, November 1st, All Saints Day, and we had nearly 50 soul winners spend all day out soul winning. We had about 150 salvations, so that was great. And then the last day of the month, there was also a holiday as well, Bonifacio Day. And so we just had that yesterday, and we had a lot of people from our churches, 30 plus soul winners spending their day soul winning, or at least part of their day soul winning. So we had just over 100 salvations between our churches for the soul winning yesterday. And of course we had a regular soul winning and everything like that. So that's a big reason why we had big results. But also, good news for us in the Philippines is that things are becoming a little bit less strict. And so it's been very strict in this country ever since COVID started. And they have, shut down parks for a while. They put many restrictions on kids and families and things such as that. A lot of things have opened up. And so now in certain malls, kids are allowed now. In certain restaurants. My family, we went to the mall this past month, and our kids were having a great time, and it was great seeing lots of kids there, and we're able to just eat in a restaurant together, which is something we haven't been able to do for a very long time. And so the parks have more people now. People are a little bit less scared of COVID and things such as that. So it's definitely helped increase our soul winning results. It's also given us a boost in our attendance as well, and people feel more comfortable visiting church. For a while here, people would say that they're just not interested in coming to church because of the virus, because of COVID. They have fears and things like that. But now we're actually seeing more people visit, and we're also seeing some people that didn't have the means to come to church start to come back, especially as now things are more open with kids. And so we also set an attendance record just this past Sunday, both at our church in Manila, but also combined between our ministries as well. We had a soul winning record. So things are going great. Our salvations are great. Our attendance is going great. This past month we had a big fellowship event at both of our churches. We had our anniversaries. So we had our 3-year anniversary this past Sunday in Manila. We had a great time. We had a table tennis tournament. We had a bounce house for the kids. So we had a great time overall, and food and fellowship. And then we also had our 2-year anniversary in Pampanga just November 13th, so a few weeks ago. And so things are going well overall. I do want to highlight one specific sermon I'd encourage you to check out if you tune into our preaching from time to time. I preached in our anniversary sermons how to dwell in the house of God forever. How to dwell in the house of God, or how to dwell in God's house forever. And so it was more of a practical sermon as opposed to motivational, just kind of practical steps of what does it take to stay in God's house. Because a lot of times we have the attitude that, I would never drop out, I would never mess up, I would never backslide. And yet we have many examples throughout the Bible of people that backslide. If you've been in church for any length of time, you've seen that people come and people go. People serve God and people leave. It's just the way it works. Demas hath forsaken me, the Bible says, having loved this present world. There's many reasons for this, but there's also many steps that we can take to try to ensure the fact that we will not be one of those people that drop out. Because the reality is our emotions come and go. We're excited about things, and then our excitement dies off. So what are the steps you need to do? Well, check out that sermon. It's on our YouTube if you want to check it out, and also on our Facebook. How to dwell in God's house forever. Now, just to highlight, things are going great here, but a couple things just to be in prayer for our church about, and things that are upcoming. Things overall are going very well. However, there is kind of some things in the news about the new variant where there are some concerns with the government. They are talking about potentially shutting things down and being more strict again. Now, they've said they want to make things open for Christmas time, and so things have really been opening up. But there is that possibility as well. And also, depending on where you live at the Philippines, they have various levels of strictness in regards to the vaccine and vaccine cards and things such as that. And so there are people at our churches that have chosen to get the vaccine, and there are people that have chosen not to. And obviously, that's a personal choice that people decide to make for themselves. And what they're doing here in the Philippines that makes it difficult to decide not to take the vaccine is that companies, they don't require it because they're not actually really allowed to do that. But what they will do is say that if you don't get the vaccine, at many of these companies, you have to get a swab test every week or every 2 weeks, and you have to pay for it if you choose not to get the vaccine. And the swab test can be very expensive, so for a lot of people, you're not going to even make any money then working the job. You're going to pay for all your money, just going to pay for the swab test. So it makes it very difficult. So there are people that could be in transition, looking for different jobs or careers, or making difficult decisions. And obviously those are personal choices people need to make for themselves. But it's not an easy solution here. And I know that's true in other places as well. I would especially say here, though, that if you leave one job, the problem is at a new interview, they're going to require the same sorts of things. So it's a very difficult time right now. So just be in prayer for our church family. The other thing is at certain places, there are malls that are allowing anybody in. There's also malls, though, that would restrict you if you don't have a vaccine card. And so we're hoping just things will completely open up, because that would be great for all of our church family, that we can just freely serve God, freely go soul winning, freely provide for our families, and without having to sin against our own consciences or the choices that each individual person would make. But we're going to see what happens. We do have our big election coming up in May for our new president, which is six years term here. And so things are going to be very interesting before that time. We're hoping, though, that things will definitely open up, so the means of travel will be a lot easier, and overall things are going in a positive direction. But just please continue to pray for our ministry, that things will be open here and not so restrictive. But anyways, thank you and God bless.